Hey everybody, like I'm waving back there too. It's Mike Young, a digitalnomad.net. Thanks for watching us. Thanks for watching this channel. Thanks for subscribing. Give me a thumbs up while you're thinking about it, because this is a groundbreaking video. It's a paradigm shifting video. It's one that I've been talking with Denise about recently, and one that I have to make. I've suddenly realized how much change has happened recently. And that's what I want to comment on. I want to get your feedback as comments below. So please go down there below, write some comments. And actually, if you're getting some value out of this video, go down here in the lower right-hand corner at any point in time, and there's either three dots or there's something that says thanks, which leads you to a function called super thanks, which is where you can make a donation, which is awesome, with the value that you're getting commensurate with the information in this video. Now, this is kind of incredible that I'm even making this video. I wasn't even aware I was going to make this video until probably the past week or so. And, I'm 53 years young. I've lived around a long time, since 1970. All right. And I thought I saw it all when the internet came along. I remember all the craziness, the excitement about the internet, in the 1990s. I think it really kind of came to fruition in 1997. And then, of course, the stock markets exploded and then they all crashed in 2001 after Y2K and after the internet bubble burst. But I really thought that was it. I thought that was the biggest paradigm shift that I was going to see. Or, if I saw paradigm shifts in my lifetime, that would be one of maybe, I don't know, maybe two others or something, extended out over many periods of time. But what I realize now is that in the last couple of years, I'd say between the time of the year 2020 and 2023, when I'm recording this video, we have seen a simultaneous three paradigm shifts simultaneously. All right, now let me describe what they are. Number one, I'd say I got my Tesla behind me. I'm in the trunk of my Tesla there, the frunk of my Tesla. And EVs is one thing. 3 years ago, EVs were still like a fringe thing. And I was hearing all kinds of jokes constantly about your overpriced golf cart, et cetera, et cetera. Of course, the value of stocks before 2020 on EVs were not that great. But then something happened in 2020. And it was after, COVID started, but suddenly everyone woke up and realized, wow, this really is the future, because Tesla really did it right. And they showed how electric cars don't have to be your worst car and your most boring car. You can actually have fun, and they can look cool and sexy and be super fast. And yeah, they're a little bit more money, but guess what? It costs hardly anything to drive. And if you want to actually learn more about this, go to our Tesla High Mileage Club at teslahighmileageclub.com. The link is down below. teslahighmileageclub.com. Anyway, in 2020, the paradigm shifted. Now, all of a sudden, since that time, all of the legacy ICE manufacturers, internal combustion engine, they're all shifting over to EVs, and they're all announcing and have announced the demise or the end of their engineering and engineering support or engineering development of new internal combustion engines. And actually, it's kind of crazy. I look around at what's going on even right now, and I see that Toyota, for instance, which used to be the world's largest auto manufacturer by market cap and is no longer, because Tesla passed them a few years ago. I say the best Toyota engine I ever had, probably in one of my cars, was a truck that got wrecked because it didn't have four-wheel anti-lock brakes. It was before that time. It was 1990. Their old pickup, and had the 2.4 liter. Okay, that 22 RE engine. It's kind of funny because now internal combustion ICE engines, internal combustion engines are on so much the way out that Toyota is going back to their roots, and their most reliable engine, the 2.4 liter four-cylinder, and that's what they're putting in almost every new vehicle that's coming out. It's usually a turbocharged version of that with a turbocharger bolted onto it and a hybrid system bolted onto it. But it's back to the old school for them while they're on the way out. And of course, BEVs, battery electric vehicles, are on the way in, and they will be developing them as well. So that's one of the paradigm shifts, is that we are no longer in the early adopter phase for EVs. We're not. That's the shift. Now EVs are in the mainstream. The early adopter days are over. And I find myself, our focus now is on the Tesla High Mileage Club. All right. That's it. It's not on the newest ones. It's like, hey, What are the operating costs of this? What are the problems with this? What are the maintenance issues you have with your EVs? I mean, they're a lot less than ICE engines because there's a lot less parts, but there's still issues. And there's still all this FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt that we have to get through. But again, the early adopter phase is over. That's the paradigm shift that took place. And I might go into this a little bit more, but I want to get to the other two paradigm shifts too, as well, so that this video doesn't go on and drag on and on, and you don't know what I'm talking about. All right, let's go to the next one. You guys may know I have another channel called aplantbaseddiet.org. You can go to it as a shortcut. Just go to plantbasedvideos.info and you'll go right over there. And that one, we've been focusing on the plant-based lifestyle, veganism at a minimum. We've been doing events. We've done like 25 festivals that are free outdoor large-scale events over the last 2 years. We've done a record number of events, but we're steadily shifting away as of this summer. We're pivoting away where we just used to do veganism at a minimum, okay, and that was acceptable to us, but we've always wanted to do health optimization, taking control of your own health. That's really been it. So I think that the vegan movement has now officially pivoted and shifted to the focus being health optimization. And I think that veganism is almost on the way out. It's kind of sad, traditional veganism. That's just our opinion of it. And what we've seen over the past few years is a lot of ex-vegans. That's started to become a thing, and based on our analysis, it's the ex-vegans have happened because they weren't doing it right. They were eating all the vegan junk food, the food-like products. If you don't know what I'm talking about, get my free book called Live to 150. It's at liveto150.org. Check that out. So what we've seen is the unsustainable movement of veganism, because yes, you do help animals, but you're hurting yourself in the process. That's not sustainable, especially if you're hurting your health. And of course, the new health is wealth. That's the real wealth. And it doesn't matter what you have. If you don't have your health, it doesn't matter. You got to get that health. That's the only thing that's going, that longevity, that health span. That's what's going to make life worth living and fun. So that's where we are. So going forward, all of our events have shifted from a minimum of veganism, which they still are. They're still vegan events, still vegan endeavors that we're in. But now we are focusing on having a minimum level of food, since that's been the Achilles heel here, and from our opinion, in the veganism movement. And it's going to be healthy vegan food or better. Now that we have our nonprofit has a designation called Certified Healthy Vegan Food. You can find more at healthyveganfood.info, healthyveganfood.info. So every event that we do will be certified healthy vegan food or better going forward. We've got our health optimization cruise. If you don't know what that is, go to healthoptimizationcruise.org. It's a special annual event in January. And of course, if you want to know about all of our events that we're doing, just go to plantbasedevents.info, plantbasedevents.info. All right. I'm not going to spend much more time on that because this is going on our Digital Nomad channel. I'm going to make another separate video where I go into more detail about what I think is the paradigm shift of veganism and plant-based and health optimization, etc., that's happened here recently. Now, what's number three? Number three is work remote. Now, I know a lot of companies are announcing going back, but I will tell you that before 2020, I couldn't imagine my wife, Denise, who's in IT, remaining with her same company and being able to work remote or mobile or whatever. It wasn't possible. We had talked about it. We're like, it's not possible. How to shift companies. Yeah, I know these jobs exist, but they're few and far in between, et cetera, et cetera. All of a sudden in 2020, everybody was remote. That's when we took our trip. If you go back on our channel, we took this giant cross-country trip at the end of 2020 in November and December. It was a lot of fun, and we were all over the place, and there was hardly anybody on the roads. It was the best time ever to travel. We also realized that this is all possible. You can work from wherever. It's like the whole fulfillment of the digital nomad lifestyle, all wrapped up into one, in the car, in the electric vehicle, eating plant-based like we were doing, and working remote. So we were doing all of these things. We even did a whole video series this past winter about 5 months living in the car in Florida. So we documented all that too. So we have those 2 documented video series if you want to check them out on the channel. Wow. So let me say the work remote thing is here to stay. And I know a lot of people are going back and saying, you got to come. Okay, guys, party's over. Time to come out to the office. Even Elon Musk is saying that too. But I do think that that's the old school. That's the old style. That's old thinking. And it's only, there are still going to be some resistors and some holdouts and some old school, proclaimers, but just like has always happened in every other change, those people are they're going to start to fade away. So what we're seeing is the new work remote age. So if I go back into it and I say, like, look, we saw the internet around the late 90s, early 2000s. That was it. I'll never see such a big paradigm shift in my life. Everything was in person. Now everything's online. No, like I said, we've seen three really big shifts here in the last couple of years. ICE to EV, plant-based or vegan to health optimization, and work in the office, and a hurting in many places commercial office space environment, in real estate, to work remote, work anywhere. As long as you got digital service, and of course Starlink makes that possible. We have Starlink, we have mobile service, we have all kinds of stuff that we use now. And actually, one of the things, I'll kind of give you a sneak preview with the work remote. If you watch the channel, you've seen that we put together what I call the rolling mobile IT sweatshop. Rolling mobile IT sweatshop, where Denise works in the back of the car while I drive around or let autopilot drive us. Well, we're gonna come out with the next generation, version 2.0. All right, we're in the planning stages now. I've ordered some components, and wait till you see what the new mobile IT sweatshop is going to look like. It's going to blow you away. What's possible? Still in the same car, same electric vehicle that we have, the Tesla Model X, and still, 250,000 miles on this car. We're going into version 2.0 now. Man, it's crazy. I started this channel up in 2016 late, I remember. Just had the idea, okay, everything's going to go remote. And I kind of based it on my own experience. Like, let me give you a little history too. I'm 53. So I grew up in the 70s and 80s at a time when everyone knew where everyone was if you were talking to them, or it was really expensive if you were calling someone because it was by the minute long distance phone calls. That was it. You still knew where the people were. Nowadays, you don't know where anybody is, and it doesn't even matter. Especially after COVID. COVID was a gigantic nightmare and a mess, but the best thing is the realization that this work remote is happening and people can be trusted. Some people cannot be trusted, okay? Don't get me wrong. It's always that slice of the population that you should not and will not ever trust, and you shouldn't, okay? Don't. But for the rest of everybody else, this is the way it's going to work going forward. All right, so I grew up in that time frame now of where everyone, I couldn't even imagine all this stuff happening. And then the internet just blew me away. But now the last 3 years, wow, I'm telling you, if you agree with me, let me know in the comments down below. I want to hear if you've thought about these things. All right. Now, the work remote and the EV thing, of course, converges with AI or artificial intelligence and self-driving cars, things like that. But those are just more offshoots, I'd say, of, and actually, for all I know, that could be the paradigm shift that's next. I mean, I know that everyone's been talking about these things like self-driving cars and AI. It's been a lot of talk about it online. But these things, the shift over to EVs from ICE, and I've been saying it for years, the imminent bankruptcy of many of the legacy automakers, that's going to happen. The shift from veganism and plant-based to health optimization, we're in the middle of all that. We've got so many new events. It's awesome. I'm glad to be alive still while this is happening. We'll look back at the way people have been eating even today. You may not understand what I'm saying. That's because you're still in that old paradigm. That old paradigm is going to move. And then we're going to look back in 10, 20 years, and we're going to say, wow, this is like the Stone Age of eating. We didn't know what we were doing. How could we even do that to ourselves? And then, of course, work remote, where you can work anywhere, do anything. It's not just work remote. It's like the opportunities. You can start up a business at scale with little to no investment online, just making like YouTube videos like I'm doing. And you could just have either a small income stream or a massive one like you've never even thought possible. Just the level of opportunity. Just don't be thinking of traditional go to workplace and earn a paycheck. I think everyone's been moving away from that as we've seen the shift from defined benefit retirement plans or pensions, which most people used to get. They're like, oh, I know when I was younger, starting off, they're like, you don't have one of those? What are you going to do? Well, almost nobody has those anymore, except from maybe, you know, paramedics, police officers, firefighters, things like that. I think they still have these things. But even those funds are having a lot of trouble. A lot of those are going bankrupt. And I hope that they do, actually, because people should be living longer and living healthier, and they shouldn't be going bankrupt, paying for people's medical expenses. That's a whole other thing. Maybe we can stop that. So anyway, that's what I've got for you guys. This is a critical time in history, because even when I'm saying these three things, like I said, we're still talking about other things in the background, such as artificial intelligence or AI, self-driving cars. I've done some videos a lot on relationships now in the digital age, because dating apps and online porn, for that matter, and all kinds of other things. The fakery of social media and the high expectations of everyone seeing everything now and not even wanting what's available because it doesn't meet these fake high expectations that you see online. It's crazy. This is the world we live in now. But, I think that as long as we focus on truth and health, then you're going to still live your best life ever. You're going to have the best time living. In fact, you'll be glad if you can get on into these new paradigms that I'm discussing. You will be glad you made it alive, because you look back and I look at people in the past who weren't in this paradigms. They were in the old paradigms before the shift happened here in the last couple of years, and I can see why they're so miserable. I can see why so many things people think life isn't worth living, or only a few things are worth living for. It's that old paradigm. It was time for a change. Maybe those are some of the symptoms of that. So let me know your thoughts about all this stuff that I discussed in this video. Hopefully it's been an explosive, I don't know, mind awakening experience for you. Think of the possibilities of the things that are out there in the world today. Hopefully I've encouraged your mind to be open and to just let go of the past and recognize, again, health and truth. I think that's what we're really shifting into that. And that's of course some of the things we talk about at a nonprofit, like the raising of consciousness of all of society. That's what we're witnessing. We're definitely been seeing that, and glad to watch it. So give me a thumbs up if you don't mind. It really helps with the algorithm. Please subscribe if you don't already. Let me know some comments or ideas you have for future videos. Any kind of ideas that have been blossomed out of this video, I'd really appreciate that. And also, as I mentioned earlier, down in this lower right-hand corner, there's either 3 dots or there's a thanks button. And that opens you up into a super thanks feature. And you can give us a donation, commensurate with the amount of value that you derive from this video. And please share the video too with others, because I am very, very excited about the time frame that we're in right now. I look back at so many points in my life. I remember growing up thinking, man, I could not live without air conditioning in a hot environment anyway. How do people do that? And now I'm looking at these 3 paradigm shifts that I described to you today here in the video, and I'm like, how could people live outside of that? Like, it would be so boring. It would be so hopeless. It would be, I don't know, it would be less truthful and less beneficial for your health as well. So many things. I know that a lot of people say gloom and doom, and they're constantly in political wars with people, but they're missing all these good things that are happening, if that's what you are. So hopefully I've encouraged you to focus your efforts on these new things. And if you want to help us out, go over to our other nonprofit, plantbaseddiet.org. That's the website. Plantbasedvideos.info is the YouTube channel over there. So we will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.